Okay, positive effect of daylight exposure on nocturnal urinary melatonin excretion in the elderly. All right. In this study, what they did is they took 192 elderly individuals who were pretty old, 70, not ancient, but old enough. They measured ambulatory daylight exposure using a wrist light meter in 2 48-hour sessions. This is a really interesting way to study this. They basically put a light meter on someone's wrist in order to see exactly how much light they got exposed to. And then they correlated that with their overnight urinary melatonin levels. This is a metabolite of melatonin, but it's, academic. And what indeed did they find? Okay, they found that daylight exposure in an uncontrolled daily life setting is positively associated with increased melatonin metabolite secretion, which is a fancy way of saying the more light you get, the more melatonin you will excrete, and therefore the more melatonin was working in your body. One of the problems I have with a lot of conventional thinking is they say, oh, you increase the amount of something in the system, but that doesn't mean that it did anything. They'll do this, for example, with vitamin C, with B vitamins, things like that. And they'll say, just because you increase the level in the urine, you just gave the patient expensive urine. We see a lot of clinical benefit to doing that in a strategic way, not in a haphazard way, but in a way that's directed by some combination of actual clinical laboratory data, empirical evidence and experience and anecdotal medicine, frankly. But the point is, in this case, the amount of light that you get can increase the amount of melatonin you're excreting, and that is a good thing. This is why lack of sunlight exposure and light exposure in general during the day tends to make people sad, i.e. seasonal affective disorder. And night and circadian rhythms is that at night, as I said, melatonin comes out to play, but this can be disrupted and the release of melatonin can be delayed by exposing the body to artificial light. So you may be thinking, I'm boosting my melatonin on the one hand by having my tryptophan-rich breakfast on my front porch, but you may be hamstringing your progress towards wellness by having a really bright blue saturated screen on at all hours of the night, which delays your melatonin. We call it dim light melatonin onset, to the point that then you have a reduced window for melatonin to do its magic of regenerating your body. I believe this is why we're seeing such a profound increase in so many diseases that are associated with exposure to artificial light at night. Heart disease, cancer, stroke, other cardiovascular diseases, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Not to mention susceptibility to infectious diseases, which is, frankly, increased and worsened by a lack of healthy circadian rhythms, a lack of these healthy, really hormones and neurotransmitters that are associated with abundant light exposure. If this video has been helpful to you, make sure that you check out my link tree below to find out how you can keep in touch with me best. And if you would like to become a patient at my practice, please apply to work with me at stillmanmd.com. Thank you again for watching. Have a great day.